loved your film. It's one of my favourite films of the year.
Oh, thank you so much.
You've had so much praise. Did you expect this kind of praise for the film? Because it's had so many amazing reviews and people have been talking about it in such great terms for you.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I was just hoping that it was legible. Honestly, it was such a strange movie and such an out-of-body experience making the movie that I really didn't even know if anyone would even process like what was happening moment to moment. So the fact that people were able to sit through the film was kind of a massive accomplishment unto itself. And the way it's been embraced has been really magical. When we were making the film, I went and met with David's estate. This is around 2018. And I said, Bohemian Rhapsody had just come out and had like blown up. And I was trying to figure out how to do a Bowie film. And I said, listen, there's two ways we could do this. We could do this as a kind of jukebox musical sing-along that's really easy and really digestible and will probably gross a ton of money. Or we can do this more in the spirit of David, which is rather avant-garde, occasionally hits the mainstream, but is a little, requires a little participation. The estate looked at me and said, well, that's your problem. The answer was obvious from the beginning, which is we had to do it in a way that was sort of true to David's creative and artistic spirit. And so for the film to have been embraced sort of in the mainstream by choosing that route has been, incredibly satisfying.
Yeah. Was the film how you foresaw it at the beginning? Did it change a lot during the process? Because it's a very visceral film. There's a lot of amazing sound design and visuals. Like you say, it's not a kind of cookie-cutter documentary or even a feature film. So did it change much in that process?
Yeah, it was conceived to be this immersive cinematic experience, and I think it delivers that. But what I didn't intend when I started to make the film was that it would be a kind of life-affirming movie about how to lead your best life. I mean, this is like last thing on my mind when I decided to make an IMAX music experience. So I think that David's intelligence and his humanity and his gift really kind of permeated the film and my experience making it.
What led you to the IMAX? Because I haven't seen it in IMAX yet, and I really, really would love to at some point. Hopefully they will show it at some point. What led you down that path in terms of that extra immersion into what you wanted to produce on the film?
So, we experience music with headphones or like in stereo in 2 channels. IMAX cinemas and Atmos cinemas have the greatest sound system available to us to hear music, to experience music, where you can feel the music, not just hear it. And so it just dawned on me, let's take over those environments. Let's use that space to create an immersive musical experience. Visual, yes, but that was the original premise, was to take stems and repurpose them in Atmos and 12.0 to allow each viewer to kind of be the conductor.
Yeah. And you've managed to have a theatrical release, which a year, 2 years ago, you might not have had the opportunity to do so. You might have had to go to streaming or whatever else. So how lucky have you felt that audiences have gone to cinema to seek out the film, to leave their homes, go to the IMAX and seek out the film?
Yeah, it was really weird because the film was conceived in 2015 as an IMAX experience. Started making the film. We got deep into the edit during the pandemic at a time when movie theaters were completely shut down.
Yeah.
And I didn't think the film would have any value outside of cinema. I mean, it was literally, there's no information. It's not a film about you're going to learn some new information about David Bowie. It's not about that. It's about the form is the content. And so it really was designed and almost solely intended for cinema. So there was this moment during the pandemic where I'm like, what am I doing? And I called the estate and they were like, listen, we're not putting, even if cinema's open, we're not putting the movie into cinemas while it's dangerous. Fortunately, when cinemas did reopen, one of the only venues that people were going to were IMAX theaters. And so, as you probably know, documentaries have not had a very good showing the last couple of years. And basically no one's going to see documentaries in standard theaters. So we're very fortunate that we had designed the film for the one medium that people seem to be returning to.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, wish you all the best. I love the film. Thanks so much for your time.
Really appreciate
Pleasure.
it.
You too. Thank you.
Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!